Hi, Sippers. Welcome to another episode of Talk, Entertainment, and Art with me, the Anchor. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for your support. And if you are new, you can simply become a sipper by clicking on that subscribe button. Don't forget to like and also don't forget to comment on our videos. You can also find the audible versions on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, as well as Google Podcast. You can also be a Patreon by simply signing up on Patreon. So now, as we always do it, we bring you beautiful guests with amazing stories. We figure out what they're about, why they did what they did, what happened during their careers. And today we have with us Sakhile Nkambule.
Hello.
Who is known for quite a number of things, but today we're going to touch base on a few things and get to know him better. Welcome on the show, Sakhile.
Thank you for having me. It's a
How
pleasure
are
to be
you?
here. I'm well. It's refreshing to be here. It's a nice place.
Is it?
Yeah, it's cool.
No, Highlands actually does have that
yeah.
therapeutic scenery.
That's soft.
And shout out to them.
That's
Thank
soft
you
life.
so much for allowing us to shoot this episode at this venue.
Yeah, definitely. I feel very calm being here.
Mm-hmm.
Also knowing how beautiful this platform is. You know,
Yeah.
it's exciting. You know, I'm always viewing the show. You know,
You really?
yeah, I'm a subscriber. You know, I'm one of those
The
people
man
that click.
subscribes, guys.
Yeah, I
Subscribe
watch and
money.
subscribe. You know, I'm still an internet kid. You know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so, you know, this podcast, T&J, has been important in terms of learning about where people are at mentally.
Mm-hmm.
We always make assumptions. So, you know, we get to hear from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
So you have been in the creative, artistic,
Yeah.
musical industry for a while now, since 2008, 2009?
Since my whole life.
Since
But
your
I
whole
guess people started knowing me when I registered a company called Swazi Drive. Yeah, in 2008. I was 16.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How did that come up to you at 16 years?
It's a blessing to have an idea, you know, in the first place. So I'd say with the right mix of events in your life plus intuition, you kind of get pushed certain directions.
Yeah.
And I think God pushed me to like take a risk on my creative side. It's not like I was not a bad student, you know. I was a well-balanced student and an athlete. Let's go, ladies. So I had no reason to just pick music, but right from the beginning, Form 2, I think, is when I really decided I want to do something with music in my life. I'd already started shooting films. My first film I was 13.
Yeah.
We were just shooting pranks. So to be in the creative space, I wouldn't say it was like a decision, like I'm making a business plan. This is what I'll do. But it was more about me, like, oh, this is what I love, you know. I love this. I love that I get to make what I want. It's the only time at school where they're like, make what you want. And I'm like, this is complete freedom for me, you know. And I was like, if I could live a life in that space, that would be amazing. And God blessed me with that life, you know. Yeah.
So when you started Swazi Drive, you worked with different artists from different parts of Africa.
Yeah.
And how were you able to manage all those artists at such a tender age?
I'd say I was learning. I think a lot of them would tell you today they got to experience SK starting. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, I'd say, who I am today.
Yeah.
They got to experience the young, passionate, heated, you know, over the top, overly ambitious kid, you know, who knows anything's possible. So there was definitely a lot of, I'd say, great experiences and also a lot of bad ones because of just age.
Of course.
And inexperience and immaturity.
Of course.
You know, so it was a nice balance of both worlds. You get what I'm saying? And I'm growing up in like the public light, you know.
Yeah.
People have known me since I was like 16. Yeah, but I've been in the newspaper since I was 16. You know, I'm 29 today. So I had to like...
You've been out there.
I've been like talked about since I was a teenager. So think
you
about
got
that.
used to publicity at a very young age. Did it
Do you get
affect
used to
you
it?
growing up?
I don't know if you get used to it. Do you? I don't know.
You can.
You're a
Some
presenter, so you could tell me.
people- Like, you can get used to it to a certain point.
I don't think you actually ever see me unless I'm at work. I don't know if you notice. You'll never. I don't know if people assume because you're famous, you kind of like are aware of the impact you've made.
Mm-hmm.
You're not until they speak, right? Until you get feedback from them, the world, right? And it can get very overwhelming to kind of do something and then see the impact it made.
Yeah.
There's so many examples of things I've done that have made an impact, and I don't want to single anything out, but it's always a pleasure for me when someone's fallen in love with something we've done, whether it be a show, a song, a t-shirt, a beanie. There's people who have the first t-shirt I've ever done. I was still a student at Waterford.
And people still wear them.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
Really?
Some of them even changed color. I saw someone wearing a t-shirt that went from gold to green with the Hypnotic logo from 2012.
How did that feel for you?
Like I still don't get it. Like,
what do you mean you still don't get it?
I'm still in the process
Of?
I'm still living. I'm still alive, guys. I'm still expressing myself. Those are just expressions of myself at that age, at that point in time.
Swazi Drive and Hypnotic were expressions of yourself at that time?
I think so. Like, what else could it be? Because it's what I knew. It's the level of education I had at the time. I believe the network I had at the time, the design knowledge. Maybe I just got Photoshop. You know what I'm saying? And I want to do a t-shirt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And maybe that was my first time trying it, and it worked. But now I know those things work. So I'm creating from a different place, right? It's no longer, there's no doubt at all. So I'm no longer trying to piece it together. The pieces are already there. Hypnotic's already big. I don't have to piece that together. I just have to drive it forward, and I make what forward up is. I set the industry prices for artists. I get to say who's releasing a project, whether you're in my label or not. I get to help finance and market projects. So we're literally dictating pop culture. Like, if we scale back and there's no events, there's no jobs, there's no artists, there's no live events, there's no food on the table. It's a whole system now. It's no longer, hey, SK makes music, right? It's that's why I don't get it. It started off as, oh, I have a passion for this.
Yeah.
To everyone relying on this, even myself, even I rely on it to feed my family. It's crazy. Yeah.
So can you say that you mentioned earlier that Hypnotic and Swazi Drive were expressions of you at that age? So can you say that the silence from Swazi Drive has been because it is a part of your life that you have outgrown?
It's a part of my life that I don't think certain markets are ready to experience.
Again?
No, not again. I just think people were a bit overwhelmed by me. People some of my peers, people in positions of power didn't know how to receive this young guy who believes in himself, who's paying for his own stuff, right? I'm not out here begging people to help me do this. I'm keeping companies out. You know, I'm the one guy going, no, y'all can't be in this.
You're going to do it on your own.
Yeah, thanks, guys. We got this.
And you were doing this with your friends, right?
Hell yeah. I love all them niggas. I have a video I'm about to post, actually, some promotional work we're about to do. We're counting money with tenderness, a couple of homies when we're just getting started and we're having a conversation. So I have all those clips, Sometimes when I'm reflecting, working on stuff, I watch stuff. So and the conversation there was about this, being this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you started this with your friends, not long after you did have a fallout with your best friend.
Yeah.
How did that affect everything? Several best friends. How did that affect everything, considering the fact that you started all of this with them?
So it affected me. It didn't affect the business. And as the leader, it's important you always right mentally. because, like I say, we dictate the tone, right?
Okay.
So if now I'm not feeling okay, I feel hurt, betrayed, or just the human side takes over, right? You create opportunities with people. I won't say I give people opportunities, but we create opportunities with people. Some things I can't do on my own, right? And I think that's something people need to learn from my life in general. Like Hypnotic is yes, it's Sakhile, but is it really Sakhile? If you think about it, it's a bunch of us deciding that we're going to respect a particular deadline, a date that we set, and we're going to meet at a particular place and listen to a particular type of music, right? It's a collective decision. It's a collective consciousness, right? And I get to lead that consciousness, right? That so if you start looking at things from that perspective, and then people betray you, you have to zone out and pray to God, which is what I did. And my girlfriend was pregnant when all this started, and that was part of the drama. Who doesn't like who likes who thinks who should have had a baby with who. People that get that invasive in my life.
Your friends were that involved in your life?
People think who I date is their business. People think what I drive is their business. What I eat is their business. Who I impregnate. Yo, that's the one. That's the one. SK God, who, where? So I'm very proud of how Angelica and I handled that pressure. It was a very difficult pregnancy. Plus all that public pressure. I had just done the cypher. When I did the cypher, I didn't know I was going to have a baby. And right after the cypher dropped, literally, as everyone was hyped up, I was like, what are you saying to me? You know? What do you mean, you know? And I had to make some decisions, you know, like, am I going to fight for my name? You know, am I really the guy who's gonna have to fight for this? Or have I made enough of an impact for people to know who I am? And I just trusted that. I trusted that people know what I'm about. People know what to expect from Sakhile and Nkambule. It's years of trust that's been built. And how people handle themselves because of pressure or politics or influences is really none of my business. And, you know, I wish them love. And a lot of them have apologized. It's just you'll never get to hear from me.
So they actually came back and apologized.
A lot of niggas have apologized. I don't know how else you want me to say it. I don't know if now I was supposed to come out and announce that. I don't know what this generation expects from people. And I don't go by people's expectations at all. There was all this pressure, people tweeting me, say something, people calling me, texting me. And, you know, I wish people had that same energy. Respond. Yeah, let's talk about, how we don't have royalties, you know. I was like that guy. Yeah. I was just fresh from saying, you know, our associations need to be paying us royalties. And I felt people took advantage of so many things to distract people from a real conversation about creatives being paid that I was leading and I continue to lead today. That, by the way, I'm back and it's even worse now that Corona's happened. You know, we get to be part of conversations in many places. I had to be right. I had to. You really
went through a lot.
A lot.
There was a lot of talk and commotion going on.
Yeah, but I'm having a baby, right? So I had to shut it out. So I wasn't hearing a lot. So bengibona ngebantu mina when going out that something's going on. Maybe someone wouldn't talk to me, right? I'm at a restaurant. Someone I know well, looks at me and then looks away. And then I'll ask my girl, am I trending for something? Am I in the newspaper? Those are daily conversations with my girlfriend. You didn't even
keep up with...
I've been in papers since I was 16, guys. Forgive me for not reading everything that's written about me. I'm sorry that I didn't see that blog post or that tweet. I could go on Twitter right now and type my full name, and I bet you someone's saying something right now. Or somewhere, 2 days ago, someone said something that is controversial that I didn't see. And that probably to someone else needs a response, you know. So mina bengifunza literally from people in real life. I remember I was shooting OG King's first single, Tell Me.
Yeah.
And I went to the first Pop Sunday to shoot like the last few scenes. We had just released the cypher. Hadn't really been in public. I had lost a lot of weight, just losing my mind a little bit. But I really was creating the whole time. Never stopped creating.
Do you feel like when you were in the middle of losing your mind, was it because of all the commotion that was happening
that's
that
the
you were
best space.
trying to shut out?
I felt I needed the world to doubt me.
It was subconsciously affecting you.
No, I needed the world to doubt me. I felt I set myself up for the world to doubt me. The way I was behaving, I wasn't behaving as like someone who was like, when someone wants success, guys, there's a certain pattern of behavior, and whether it be over partying, too many girls, or all that stuff, there was overindulgence at some level that I knew was not good for me. So to a certain extent, I had to then face that. Why am I self-sabotaging on that level? See, it's not about anyone else with me.
Was it the self-sabotaging only in overindulgence, or the overindulgence then affected your trail of thinking, your decision-making skills?
The overindulgence became part of the lifestyle, right? I got 4 Sky Lounges coming up, Hypnotic. I have a gig in Chicago. I have a new company partnership. I've got 3 artists to launch. All in like 4 months, let's say. I have to give a lot of myself to execute those things. A lot of myself. Time being the most important.
Yeah.
To each and one of those individuals, to each brand. If Hypnotic's doing something, if people don't see me announce the ticket prices, it's fake, bro.
True.
You get it?
I do get what you're saying.
So I'm aware of all those spaces and where I need to be present. And then people now expecting me to be present in spaces where I know I don't need to be present. Like dragging me into drama. And it was people that knew me very well. People, that I developed. Some people were some are still running with trademarks I own still today. And I don't know if they're hoping, like the law firm burnt down or something, or Sakhile really isn't about the business. But I am. I think what's important was really building a culture, right? Look how many more creatives we have today.
Yeah.
I used to be the only one, like, at some point doing this, like, literally.
And when you started Hypnotic, you were in the US, right?
I was still home when I started Hypnotic. Then I left for college, same year. So as soon as I did Hypnotic, we went to university.
And then initially it was supposed to be a birthday celebration,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Then how did it become something so big?
Because I didn't know I was good at curating music. That's how I discovered that people like the music I like. Or rather, I kind of figured out that there's certain types of music that everyone's listening to that can bring us together, right? That was the first time I was like, I'm going to book who I want. It's my party. It's not about who's on radio. It's not about who's on TV. It's not about who's in the magazine. It's not about even Hype Magazine. I used to read Hype Magazine.
Yeah.
I used to listen to Season Scoop on YFM. I've always been that kid. So to finally have a say, like, oh, this is what I do.
This is what I want.
Right. I got addicted to that after the first one. And then people fell in love, aka then went on to win awards. Remember?
I remember.
We booked him, he won awards, and he was at Hypnotic. And then how everything came together, I had to try again. And then I had to try again. And then next thing we're doing the 5th year celebration.
When the first one happened, you did have a few issues.
Every year there was issues.
Right. And I want to focus on the first one because that was the big one.
I see how you're looking at it. Yeah.
And when you had those issues having to deal with artists like AKA pulling out and all of that, how did you deal with that as the organizer and all of that? Okay,
so the first one, AKA was there, Kulichana was there, Big Nas was there. The only issue I remember in 2012 was Big Nas performing at Matata before coming to Hypnotic. that was the most stressful thing for someone who's new in the industry. And these guys were award-winning, had the biggest records, and someone else pulled a fast one on us and got them to perform to like thousands of people in another city in the same country on our budget. I learned a lot. So that was the most stressful thing. And then the AKA thing was like a 5th year celebration, where I thought, to pay homage to what we've done, and we really disagreed on a lot of things, but we eventually solved it, which was now the last Hypnotic, where he came and did a whole hour set. We had a nice conversation at the Royal Villas about family. I hadn't even imagined I'd be a father at the time. So you gotta realize how things have changed so quickly, and he was now telling me how being a father changed his life, and he's like how he wished it for me, and I was like, no way.
Not
no
now.
way. Hip hop. And now I can't imagine my life any other way.
Yeah.
So everything's evolving. I don't think if I were to do Hypnotic this year, I don't think it would be the same Hypnotic as all the other years, because I've evolved. Things have evolved. Things have changed. How we consume has changed. How we buy tickets will change. As much as people want the nostalgic, going to sneakers, putting your email, putting your 5 rand coins for your ticket, we really have to look at those moments as memories now, which is crazy to me. But I have a way to store those memories, which is exciting. But we gotta push forward, and that's why I'm back. That's why I'm happy to even.
By you're back, what do you mean?
I'm back expressing myself. I don't think I've given myself or given people a fair opportunity to hear from me. And this podcast is an intentional. I'm going to talk, and I will be free to create and talk at the same time.
Yeah.
People won't box me up like on some, give us what we like, but we don't want you. Type position. If you want Hypnotic, you get the whole me. You get the whole package, which is sometimes me going off on niggas on Twitter. I think y'all see why I treated people the way I treated them. This generation's crazy. We're not organized. People, I don't know what they want.
So you're big on being organized.
It's the only way, like I said to you, it's the only reason we were able to have Hypnotic. People had managers. People were in studios. People were paying for their outfits. People were being paid.
So when Cassper decided that
organized.
he is taking the entire general section to the VIP, was that discussed?
No.
It wasn't discussed?
No.
How did that affect everything?
A lot. And he hasn't finished paying me.
That can't be possible. He took the entire general section, put
I'm
them
upset
in the
because
VIP.
I literally texted them the other day to like move on from this issue, because we were just organizing another gig. And then they stopped replying, like I've forgotten what they did and what I'm owed. And, I've been on the internet, like I said, watching how they've been treating other people. I don't know. I think my opinion, honestly, of Cass and that move is he wouldn't have appreciated it if I did that at Phillip, where I now change his security policies or whatever plans. I felt as black men, we should really be the ones leading that. Let's respect each other's
and each other's boundaries.
Initiatives, But they argued they made the show better, but they still paid what they felt was due at the time. And, I got over those feelings. I just haven't done business with them since, to be honest.
You learned from that?
Not that I learned from it. It just became a weird relationship. We literally came up together. Sonke in the industry, hip hop blew up all of us. I don't know how else to say it. We're peers. We grew up. The guy's first time coming here.
Yeah.
We're walking around Esbane, eating the same food and drinks. But now, it's weird like how we treat one another. Now the last Major League Twins invited me. The last Major League Gardens I went to was like in 2019. We were all there, same peers, Java.
And no one is saying anything about
we're
happened.
all superstars now. We're all cool now. We don't talk to each other now.
Yeah.
Okay, which Java spoke. He was telling me about the one-man show. That he's planning a one-man show. and he has this big dream to host a one-man show. I told him, just giving each other those good seeds. I said, you can definitely pull off a one-man show. And he told me Sun City. I was like, damn, that's big.
Yeah.
That's a big goal, bro. And I think it's Java, Java's first time in Swaziland was me, and I remember him performing his whole album thinking people would hate him, but they loved it, And when you look back at the fact that Java performed his whole album to us, it's legendary now. But in the moment, it was like, who's this?
Who's he?
Who's he?
Who's this one?
He's wearing orange at night.
Yeah.
It's our attitudes towards one another. And I think people have missed a lot of magical moments. And people will miss me, man, because I'm not going to be in Swaziland forever either, right? I'm in Swaziland because I was raising my daughter and she's good, and no one can tell me or stop me from doing what I want. So I'm working a lot with a lot of locals. Yeah. A lot of local producers, filmmakers, makeup
You're also
artists.
working with the local gin brand.
Oh, and locals gin. That's not what I meant though, but that's so cool.
Yeah.
I work with the locals and the locals. But with that relationship, I wish I had more room to grow the relationship with the locals gin. But it's challenged me to start our own consumer products. I think they've taught me and I've learned. We were managing a lot of marketing and distribution. Got to learn about distilleries and how to produce a consumer product, how to price it.
You are really just wanting to go into each and every space that there is.
Yeah. I grew up looking up to guys like Diddy, Richard Branson, Jay-Z, Elon Musk. So you got to realize that I don't think I have to be limited, right? Like Richard Branson has an array of Virgin brands, like Virgin Music, Virgin Airplanes,
so you
hotels.
Just cannot be tamed.
Yes, in a nutshell. And those people, I'm drawn to those people because I feel it represents a part of me, right? You're drawn to things that resonate with you.
Yeah.
So I feel I'm drawn to those people because of that factor that I felt I could be the biggest in music, could be the biggest in fashion, could be the biggest in technology, which is going to be the case,
Yeah.
I think people have sort of figured out we're not quiet because we're not doing anything. We're living in the metaverse. We're building content for the metaverse.
So can you say that people can actually expect another Hypnotic event?
People should expect all kinds of amazing products, including Hypnotic. Hypnotic will live on forever. The fact that there's value that we've put behind that brand means we will live, whether it's physical events, whether it's merchandise, whether it's playlists. Maybe we'll do Hypnotic records one day and just do trap hip-hop artists from all over Africa and get a major label like Universal to be behind it, or Sony Music, and just have Hypnotic records.
Yeah.
So we've built a system and a brand that can stand on its own, and I'm onto other projects already because that's already gonna work itself, right? That's already gonna pay for itself.
Now, considering that you're a brand on your own, Sakhile Nkambule.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
And you did mention earlier that you can't be tamed. You are unstoppable. You will do whatever it is that you want to do and what you've set your mind on.
Yeah.
A lot of people have had that mentality, but been affected by cancel culture in so many ways. Now here you
cancel
are.
Who, nigga?
Here you are saying that no one can cancel you.
That's such a... I always knew the internet would do this to us. Like, I remember I started my YouTube channel in 2011.
Yeah.
2011. I joined Twitter in 2010. Just think about what you were doing during those years. I don't think but already there were reports that the internet will change our psychology. And people will value these numbers, over your name. Luckily, or, however you look at it, some of us, we got those numbers early. I never had my self-esteem affected by will I get views or will I get a follow. Ever. just pause. I want you to think of how much of a blessing that is in today's generation, for starters. Never having to worry about if when you express yourself, someone will actually react.
Yeah.
There's people who are literally doing things hoping
That people
someone
will
out
react.
there, 6 billion people, at least 3,000 can like, I'll be happy. These things are all in your mind. And I've always understood that. So when I saw, I've been a victim of cancel culture, I think, more than 8-9 times.
You've been a victim.
Yeah, like people trying to cancel me, like literally.
On
Like I fought
baseless
with gospel artists.
or
No, like damn, sometimes baseless accusations. Sometimes off of seeing me actually do so. Like I've once fired stuff online. You understand? And then I don't care how people see that, but I was in Chicago and these people were ruining my brand and no one was answering the phone at the office, and I'm the boss and I can do what I want. So I tweeted, if y'all are still in the office,
you tweeted that.
please leave now.
Did you not have like
Yeah.
a company email address or something like that?
Because they were trying to pull you gotta realize how dirty our industry is. And people always like, what happened to this artist? What happened to so and so? You'll never hear that about me. Because I take care of the minor details. I have systems. I have operation plans. We went to school for this. Like, I have a business degree.
Yeah.
You understand? Just dealing with sabotage is part of the game, in a sense.
So you're saying that when you were affected by cancel culture, or rather when you were a
I was
victim,
canceling back.
you were canceling back.
So I'm grown now. I would never do that. But I'm telling you how I was reacting to something in the moment. Cancel culture pillar was invented while we were already hot on the internet. And now we're seeing our peers losing jobs off of rumors, lies, off of something someone said that is not verified. Fake
he
news,
say, she
right?
say.
Who said what? And we're seeing the real impact on people's lives, right? And then now I was like, not me. He says I'm saying something bad.
Yeah.
Right? No one knew, no one had a PR plan for this. You could hire the best. I've worked with PR companies all over Africa, you must remember. You know, some of the best talent from SA that works with companies all over, you know, have worked with me. And even Swazi people would sit down all night, like, okay, SK, there's this being said about you online. We're about to release the lineup. Tomorrow you're supposed to drop that Nasty C's coming. Tomorrow you're supposed to drop Smokey and Rigo's coming.
Yeah.
But people are saying this. How are we going to deal with it? And sometimes my proposal was, let me tweet.
So you can defend your
After
name.
having paid everyone, including lawyers and PR companies, sometimes it was like, no, this needs a tweet.
It's going to solve everything.
Because that's the only place people will believe it's actually me talking. Right? That's how important these social spaces have become.
So that is how you were able to clear out your name whenever it
If it's not on
came
my
about.
page.
How did this affect your girlfriend at that time? Because a lot was going on.
Oh, man. I love and respect her. You know, Angelica's like been by my side since 2017. So she still, I'd say, feels just like my parents. You know, you gotta remember that my parents had to, even before she was involved, had to see me grow into this person that the world admires and wants to know about at some level, for whatever reason. You know, even sometimes she says, you know, there's a lot of handsome men out there. You're not the most handsome, but the way people want to talk to you, it's crazy. You know, when she's mad at me. And I still go, you know, it's a gift. But, you know, it does make people feel like sometimes people take advantage of me. You know what I'm saying? I've had artists, Boy Angelica, I've seen, if she made me 2017, that was like next generation. That was pre-Amari, pre-Smokey and Rigo, pre-Low, you know, being released. So she got to see people she found me living with, like turn on
you.
And see me react to that. So she didn't like all my reactions, of course, but also I love how we handled it. I love that she allowed me to be me. I love that all the drama fell to the side because I was just like, man, I'm bigger than all of this. I'm bigger than all of this. They know it. Even the people talking know it. Even the people hyping them up know it.
Yeah.
You know, everybody, this whole industry knows it. You know what I'm saying? I pull up to a show, everybody keeps quiet. Why? Because everybody's talking nonsense.
Yeah, everyone has this perspective of you.
It's fine, they can have it, but I'm pulling up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I pulled up to a Pop Sunday once, and then there was like, okay, Sakhile is here. And then there was a bunch of people I was talking to. Then there was a bunch of people who look at the other people like, how are you speaking to Sakhile?
Mm-hmm.
Because you said, so now it started like all this, you never liked Sakhile.
You once said this
You
about
once
him.
said this about Sakhile. And that sometimes unfolds in front of me. And I always say to people, yo, like, I'm here, it's okay, like, it's okay. It happened, I was buying chips in Ezulini, Pamtsimba. Sometimes I go to these shows, there's a lot of young promoters that I'm just watching and going to their shows, just experiencing what they're doing. And I'll be buying, you know, from people that are my age or younger, you know, buying kota and chips. And these are Hypnotic fans or Swazi Drive fans, or they're trying to be rappers.
Yeah.
So one of them didn't know who I was, and someone was talking about Swazi Drive because I had pre-ordered my stuff and I was coming. So talking about Swazi Drive, and I walked there, and someone was talking, you know, nonsense, you know, and but I'm Klega, you know, the other guys, because
they can see you.
Yeah, and I was wearing a cap and I'm wearing a mask, so I was laughing. Yeah, you know, Sakhile, out there. And then they asked him, so what did he do? He's like, no, he didn't sign my friend. I hate that nigga.
Because you didn't sign his friend.
He never gave my friend a shot. That nigga don't know talent. So I don't want that. And I said, who's your friend? And he says the nigga's name. And I said,
so you're joining in the conversation
as
someone else.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And he says the guy's name. I say, I've heard of that guy. He says, yeah, that guy's the best. And Sakhile should have given him a chance. And I was like, what makes everyone think this is on me?
What reaction did you get after that?
Did he accept on board Sakhile?
And that's all they said.
They just started dissing him. And he asked to speak privately on the side. He's like, no, you know, he really admires me. You know, and I get that people talk nonsense out like that because
acting out of emotion,
but because of admiration, in a sense. Not always, don't get it twisted. I don't think everyone loves me. I'm not like delusional.
You understand that there's obviously a good and a bad side to everything.
Yes, so but there are people who clearly expect more from me. Yeah, they expect me to do more for the country, for their peers, for the youth. And I love that energy. And I do expect more from me too. Yeah.
But as we're talking and as we're having this conversation, more than anything, you stand on the fact that you were nothing but a victim. You did not deserve what was said about you.
No, I've never been a victim. No, I've never been a victim. People lied.
Did you lie?
Adrienne Fu's situation... No, I didn't lie. I didn't say anything. Yeah, but I didn't reply. With Adrienne Fu's situation, you know, and it's interesting to me how Nomfundo's handling it, because I be calling niggas. If you know me, I'd be like, yo, either you pull up or I pull up. I'm just that type of person. And I went through everyone that is in the crew. These are people I grew up with.
Yeah.
I've known Nomfundo since we were like 9 years old.
Yeah, because you were best friends.
Yeah,
right?
so like everyone getting involved in this for me was like, I'm gonna wait for everyone to shut up for starters before you and I talk. And then when you're ready to talk, I'm gonna be here. And when I start speaking, I hope you're also ready. Yeah, bro. And I think that energy I showed by just keeping quiet, you know, it's love, you know, we really inspired a lot of young girls.
Yeah.
What I did with Adrienne Fu was like massive to the culture. You get what I'm saying? Me deciding that we can put a female on the forefront at a time when no one was like doing this at all. And for her to agree and also work hard at being someone, admired. I can't take away from all that we did. What I can say is the pressure from the politics and everything that preceded the Lamborghini really scared me from people I know and love, because they really saw supercars. They really saw my potential. They really saw me spend money in clubs. Like I wasn't like spending 1,000, 10,000.
So you saw all of this coming.
I'm spending 20 grand a night hotel rooms. Like, so I always thought, and bantu labadzala bayayibona lento, because these are not people that wish the best for you, but because you're splashing money and drinking champagne every day, you won't see. I saw, and the way God played it was safest for all of us. I think everyone got to say what they felt. And here I am, right? No one will ever know how I felt. And that's just how it is. I prefer to express myself through art. And signing OG King at that time, having to release a project at that time, having to explain to him how it could potentially ruin his life associating with me wasn't easy, but we still took the risks. You understand?
How did that feel for you, knowing that every person who wants to associate themselves with you is taking a risk?
It was now being branded. It's exactly what is needed to filter out the bad apples. As far as I'm concerned, if I could even like the way God's blessed me since, I don't even have I can't even tweet about my blessings.
So you feel like that was a blessing in disguise? Because
in disguise? No, it wasn't disguise. What was in disguise? People should comment and tell me what was in disguise about what my peers did, artists I developed, people running with trademarks I created. Nalil Kamala Adrienne Fu was created by me from her middle name, right? From the nickname. It's like Ye and Kanye and him paying homage to who said Ye. That's more the respect I thought we'd be giving each other today. But people sort of took it and ran with it into the jungle, like they really thought this industry would buy into not working hard, not creating content, and just talking nonsense about one another. And I was like, bet, I'm willing to work for this. So the cypher was my response as far as I'm concerned. What Uyghur and I did with the cypher, Uyghur was like the center of that, getting all the artists. Uyghur was the only one leaving the house to go talk to artists because I couldn't be seen. I had lost too much weight. I was skinny.
It really affected you psychologically.
So Uyghur had to go talk to people to say, hey, SK is planning ABC. That's the truth.
How did you deal with the psychological effects of that? Because you might have been...
I don't think we dealt with it. We just prayed.
You just prayed?
We didn't deal with it. What can you possibly do when people lie, like Sabotage? And if people have a whole campaign... Now, I'm big enough to like know this. If I could design a campaign, like what happened with Tory Lanez was very similar to what happened to me.
Yeah.
But he fought.
And you didn't.
Nobody speaks about the fact that Meg could have possibly lied as much as they accused Tory and told him he must get deported, whatever. It was like that for me. People disassociated themselves with me.
Without knowing your side of the story.
Businesses, at that time. Now people are running back like there's an influx of demand. But I can't assist everyone because God filled that space up with oh my God, the talent I work with.
Yeah.
The talent I work with, the films we're making, the relationships that reignited.
Yeah.
I'm on the phone with Smokey and Wigo. You understand how that makes me feel? To know that I can pick up the phone and talk to Smokey and talk to Wigo. You know how that makes me feel? As guys who used to travel with people to Mozambique just to shoot for their first single, a music video, and we'd sit and talk like, do you think people will get this? Do you think we're spending too much on this? Do you think? And it's like, let's just do this. And now we look at the impact we've made. You know, these are the same artists that are behind the artists you guys know today. You know, but we go at the center of the Aya cities, our biggest DJs, the Super CDQs, you know, the Sanilos, you know. So being part of that chain is immeasurable impact. Whether I go out to a gig or not now, I know there's an artist we assist or have assisted or will assist.
Yeah.
Or we either do their publishing or their distribution or their marketing or their recording or we do their branding.
So none of this was a train smash for you. You just kept
This
going.
showed me how big I was. Like how many people spoke that acted like they couldn't see me. People that work for companies that all of a sudden knew who I was. People in government positions that all of a sudden had something to say to me.
And when you know that now as you're planning on making this huge comeback, everyone is going to come back and try and fight you again. Are you prepared for that?
Yes. In the name of Jesus. Nitawubona. No, I'm definitely not going to fight back. I think I've handed it all to God. Fighting, people trying to oppose. It's the law of nature that there must be equal opposite force.
Yeah.
So if I go that way, there'll be wind that way at the same speed. I go 120 that way, there'll be wind going 120 that way. Right, which is why we wear seatbelts, you know. So the car stops, you don't keep going 120, you know. It's the law of nature. So unfortunately, this one won't be an equal opposite reaction from me. It's going to be very overwhelming to see me fully express myself. Like really just become the Sakhile Nkambule everyone knew I was going to be at 16, you know. I'm turning 30 in like 6 months.
Yeah.
Do you want to see Sakhile Nkambule at 30?
So much.
I think so too.
And you're still going to do more.
I think what I'm about to do may change everyone's life.
Is it? That's how big it's going to be.
I said this with Hypnotic. I remember how I sounded crazy.
And here you are sounding crazy again.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I should stop this sounding crazy thing. It's becoming a thing, you know.
But I can tell that from the ideas and from your mindset that you really are destined for great things.
Thank you.
And you are going to do exactly what you say you want to do.
And I think that for you too. I think that for the founders of the podcast. I think if everyone zoned in on their self-image, their self-power, and less on the noise, and found peace and joy really internally first, anything is possible. And it sounds so cliche because so many successful people have said that. And I remember growing up, like listening to everyone and look at, follow your dreams, you know, do your best, don't stop, never quit. You know, we could just caption these things. But the magic is, I'd like to challenge whoever's like watching this podcast to give themselves a chance. You understand? If there's anything you're gonna ever learn from Sakhile Nkambule, is giving yourself a chance. You know, like people will try to teach you all kinds of things about me, try to distract you from the greatness. Black young man, right? That looks like you, that lived where you lived. People see me in Gwana Park, like buying chips. They go, Sakhile,
take my chips.
Take my chips, Sakhile. And I go, what do people think I eat? That's so amazing. Right? It's so amazing that I'm in that sphere where people think I levitate and don't eat potato chips. And I embrace it as a superpower and I pass it on to the kids to go, and we work with amazing artists. Uyghur and I on the way here, we're listening to some new artists we will be publishing this year, and he already knows how big the songs are going to be just off of the listening session we had to hear. And that's the power we have now. We get to go, hey, you get a chance.
You get a chance.
Everybody gets a chance. So that's this year. Everybody gets a chance. Yeah, and we have a plan and a business model to give everybody a fair chance at creating, a fair chance at learning, We're going to reduce that learning curve of learning instruments, of learning the internet, of learning this new metaverse world, NFTs, tokens, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
We are going to be your go-to guys. And the experiences, of course, everything continues. Business as usual. We'll continue leading, breaking new. I measure my success each year by how many new artists I've broken into the industry, not existing. You understand?
Get it.
How many new stars do I create? My aim is to create 5 stars a year at the moment. I'm still doing 2, 3, which ain't bad.
So you're getting there.
Ain't bad. I mean, the cypher was like, bam. And then people were like, oh, he can do 8 at once, this nigga. He can do 20 at once if he really zoned in. And I was like, yeah, if we could really zone in. And I think that's what this year is about, where we've created businesses, models, young black boys just like you, young black girls just like you, who believe in the dreams they have, who believe they can further develop their skills by doing, not just reading all day.
Being proactive with
doing. Just, it sounds like Nike now. Just do it. I see why they made that the slogan for Nike.
Go for it.
I gym every morning. If I don't just do it, I won't.
Do it at all.
Yes. So, at this point, I've done countless number of interviews. This being one of the most interesting ones because it's a conversation. In the past, people were wondering, what are you building? So, what's this Hypnotic? So, you know Scoop, right? So, people were there. Now, people are like, oh, so SK knows the whole game. Wait, SK doesn't know the whole game. He's helping create. He's actually soliciting. Actually, wait. Is this the game? Is Swazi Drive responsible?
Yeah.
Someone walked up to me to talk about Lyrical Lemonade. Say, SK, can I ask you a question? When I was in Ezulwini, do you know Lyrical Lemonade in America? I said, yes. He said, do you know Cole Bennett? I said, yes. He's like, oh, you know him like personally or have you heard of him? I said, I know him personally. And he said,
you couldn't believe it.
He said, bro, don't you feel like Lyrical Lemonade is Swazi Drive? I said, yes. And he's like, but he started after you. I said, yes. He said, so are you saying Swazi Jive? I'm like, believe it. Just believe it. Hypnotic was the first urban hip-hop festival in the world. Rolling Loud was 2015. Made in America was 2013. Lyrical Lemonade, I helped them with the first one. I was there on site. Shout out Chris Bauman. In 2018, when I finished my show, I was helping them, launch their first Lyrical Lemonade Festival. So I was with Bokopen, and then I got to meet him and discuss the 7 I had already done. So
you've really done a lot, and it's only understandable because you started all of this at 16 years.
I don't know how that makes sense, but somehow it does. And I think what people should take from this, I'm excited to work with guys like Cole. I'm excited for Wego to produce for Trippie Redd one day. We have that power today to make, just the same way I said once upon a time, I can have 80 script and Questa make a song, and people went, what? What?
You're sounding crazy again.
This nigga crazy. And then I brought Questa and 80 script into studio with Bolihle, and we made a song, and people were like, oh, that's possible now. So we kind of get accustomed to like all these impossible things. And I want people to get accustomed to a very high taste level this year and beyond, an extremely high taste level. Yeah, it's going to be sick.
I cannot express how inspiring your humility is, as well as your ambition, because it is, honestly, in just a nutshell, it is truly inspiring, and it's humbling to have you on the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, guys.
Amazing.
Yeah. And
thank you so much to our viewers, fumbling, for tuning in. It's a wrap.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. That was dope. Yeah. That's my life. Komba's like, thank God.